cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Happy Thursday, August 29th to all of you. It's a wonderful morning to Cap Sports. A lot of action coming our way. Final week of preseason for NFL. What a mess week 4 preseason is. But we have NCAA football, huge card. Babano, when he joins us on Thursdays, will now be focusing on NCAA football. This is the time of year we need teamwork. NCAA football, I'm going to be relying on you guys, the team, the low bag team, enormously. And I just saw a message from AM. We're going to talk about how you guys can help. We have a Kyle Jack video on his MAC breakdowns and what he's liking in college football on the Late Show. But it's going to be a time for teamwork. Also, feeling pretty crispy in my Boss in the Sauce shirt. Boss in the Sauce shirt. Feeling pretty crispy, representing Big Boss and Big Ragu. Okay, that's the first thing. We got a couple things we need to go over before we start hammering this card because we have 38 minutes before Babano joins us. First off, with Lodos Loshak and myself, we had a Genius Award. We were giving out a Genius Award for the best capping or the most valuable insights, whatever. And we did that for a little while. We have a capper who I've often said is the heart and soul of what we do here, and that is Tom Gunn, Vegas Gunn. He's been in the throes and dealing with a very violent, I don't know what the right word for, very intrusive, very, very difficult form of cancer, dealing with, tumors throughout his body. And he caps, and he never complains. He never whines. He shows us how you deal with adversity. I'm never going to act like a bitch if anything goes wrong to me because I'm going to think of Tom Gunn and Vegas Gunn. He caps, whether or not he can walk, whether or not he can get up, going through the throes of chemotherapy. He caps so that he can pay for the CBD oil that takes the pain away. And I've often said he's the heart and soul. He would be in our chat if he wasn't dealing with this every second of every day. So the Genius Award is now the Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping. The Vegas Gun Award begins today. It begins today, and we will give it out every day. And I will go over all the things I'll go over all of the what the chat has done, what I've copied and pasted, what I'm remembering. Vegas Gun Award. Now, yesterday, I told you guys when Guillermo Zertucci comes into the chat and gives you a horseplay. He was talking about Saratoga yesterday. I said, you listen. He gave us a 9-2 horse yesterday, and it won by 12 lengths. 9-2, won by 12 lengths. It was the only thing he popped in the chat and gave us a winner at 9-2 that crushed. The first winner of the Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping goes to our very own Guillermo Zertucci. Rafa is clapping. Great work, Guillermo. And Vegas Gun, you inspire us every day with your strength and your determination. I have so much love for you and Lily. We're so unbelievably blown away at your fight and your strength. And you mean the world to us. Vegas Gun Award for excellence capping goes to Guillermo Zertucci. Munachi, race 6 yesterday at Saratoga. Number 3, Munachi at 4-1, won by 12 lengths. Okay, now before I bring in all the chat and everything rolling here, the chat, I always tell you that there's a couple cappers in my head when I go home, and I know we got to go quick because we got a lot of work to do before Babano joins us. But two cappers were in my head. One, Ben Sports Picks, 24/7. God. I pushed him. I said Wojciechowski was going to be okay. But I wasn't going to think, he cashes a huge line on the Orioles. Because of my belief in Wojciechowski up against Scherzer, he takes the Orioles again. That was all my fault. Also, Guru Sports Bets. Guru, who's been straight fire in MLB, laughing when I'm taking these first 5 unders that I keep losing, and I keep losing, and I keep losing. I made 4 of them yesterday. I sweep the board in all my non-first 5 unders, 5-0. I lose all my first 5 unders. So I'm 5-4 yesterday, plus 0.63 units. Thinking about you guys often. Yesterday, thinking about you guys nonstop. And one more thing. 2 more things. I wanted to give a thank you to somebody or a group of people that made it so special in Miami. And today I need to give a shout out to Comic Ricky. He was the first capper that came in Sunday morning. I was a little worried about what the energy was going to be like early in the week. This guy came out guns a-blazing. There was thunderstorms that delayed his flight. He rolls in at 2 o'clock. He was so funny. He was so enjoyable. He was so magical when he was giving the play of the days. He was the first play of the day chair. His energy and enthusiasm and hilarity and love and kindness and everything, that carried through the whole week. He had to go back on Thursday because he's a stand-up comedian. He had gigs in Chicago. So he was only there from Sunday to Wednesday. But what he did was so important to get us going on the right foot through the joy of capping and being hilarious and drinking heavy and all that good stuff. So I want to give a shout out to Comic Ricky. And then finally, before I say what up to all of the cappers in the chat, before I do that, 50K pick six. We are 4 days away from the 50K pick six. You ask what I need from you guys? I need you all in. I need us all in the 50K pick six. Here you go. Copy and paster. Right there. There it is. 50K pick six. Get in there. Sign up. Free to enter. We're all going to be in it. We're going to be talking about it often. And I have a live show on Wednesday night starting next week. And there's going to be a lot of changes into this show. We're going to have new guests coming into this show. There's changes for our guest schedule. And also, there's 2 guys that I badly want on that Wednesday night show with me that we're working with and negotiating right now. Those guys are on my shirt. But those are the guys that I want on my Wednesday night show. Okay, there we go. That's a lot of stuff to get through. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Nasty Nate, Vinny Cornell. Vinny Cornell says, had a good day, grabbed the sausage and the taint, threw in the Twins team total over for a 4-0 day. Beautiful. There we go. I am with Gas Station Sushi on this. Diamondbacks today. I'm in the first 5 in full game, the Diamondbacks today. I love that look. I'm so excited that you're on at Gas Station Sushi. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take a shot with the way Ryu's pitching, a team that can hit lefties. Now, Ketel Marte is he says he's good to go. I hope that was just a cramp from dehydration on his home run trot. He says he's good to go. We got at Young Chili in there, Matt Randall. There's Guillermo Zertucci. This guy, first winner of the Vegas Gun, excellence in capping. Derek Tucker, Spencer Hicks, Jay Scum, Rich G, Raymond. There's Joe and Nisi. Joe and Nisi, his brother Jared and Nisi, they were so much fun to hang out with in Miami. Much love to Joe and Nisi. AM says, what's the best way to help us see college football? It's however you want to handle it, AM. If you would like to record a video and send it in to us, we'd be all over that. If you prefer not to, if you prefer to deliver the goods here on the show and let us know what you're on, how we can talk. It'd be best if you were on Twitter and we could talk through there, but we'll continue talking. There's DJ Big Boss. There's Shadow in the house. Tom Marino, Tomar, Walla Walla, Dose, Brad Hansen, Paco Healy, Riku Roxas, Ugly John, DJ Big Boss, Top Set in the house. We got Tomarino, Tomor, Juan Ruiz, Freestyle Fakiri says, hello, when hockey. I love that, Freestyle Fakiri. I know I'm going to have a better year than the last 2 years. And the last 2 years have been good. I'm going to take in a couple of the things I've been doing to not get destroyed in baseball. I'm going to add that to hockey. And hockey will be much easier for me to make moves the night before. Serious business in the house. Ben Sports Picks 24/7. Man, I was thinking about you last night and I felt terrible. That 5-run first inning, I was like, God, why didn't I stop him? Why did I get him going there? It's all my fault. Carlos Baroche, Jermel Wright, Deerslayer Ski, Levi Kressler, Brad Hansen, Chip Plylar. Jimmy, are you a millennial? Chip, I turned 40 in like a month. 40. Millennial? I was born in 79. Brooke Jordan. Rayhan Hyder. There's Rayhan Hyder in the house. Love seeing that. Jimmy Gomez ready to get to work. Ron Crawford. Off to Vegas for 30th anniversary. Oh, man, Ron Crawford, have a great time in Vegas. Much love to you. Spreadsheet went 4-2 yesterday. Today's spreadsheet, Oakland, Cleveland, Minnesota. Oakland, Cleveland, Minnesota. I talked yesterday about how in division, when both teams are in division and not playing each other, that we should just parlay the Twins and Indians. All right, Joshua Smith here, ready to go. Lamont Williams in the house. Steve Cordero. We got Jansen in the house. Said, I almost predicted the right score of Yankees. Oh, God. Watching those first 5 unders blow up in my face made me so angry. What a waste. What a waste of good capping. That's what it is. It's a waste of good capping. All right. There's Red Girl in the house, whom we love dearly. Family. Gerald Jones. Lanil Lant. Prince of the City. Says you're not signed into chat. I'm not entirely sure which chat. You mean the Miami chat? I'm all over the Miami chat. I just, yesterday I was out of action. I had to deal with some stuff. Jim Rome, Sadouche, Vegas, Vic, Yellow, Jesus. Okay, let's get to work. Godson John's ready to go. Coactus, Tease, Al Hard, Ron Fig, Donkey Capping 101, Coco Bongo, Okay, let's get to work. So, Babano is going to switch his focus when he joins us on Thursdays, and I'm going to need a lot more of that. I need a lot more people helping us with college football. Let's get to work right now. We have 4 afternoon games. We have just 10 games on the card, and I really want to touch on them a little bit. A. Hilly's on BYU and UCLA. Looking at, okay, I got to copy and paste this. Thank you, A. Hilly. Thank you, A. Hilly. And Matt Randall says, I have to explain the taint play of the day today. I'm looking forward to hear the explanation. All right. Let me know if I get too caught up in bullshit. Let me know if the taint play today comes in when I'm not paying attention. We have 3 WNBA games tonight. I have a winning record, and I've done very little capping in WNBA. I will touch on it a little bit, but that's, again, what we're going to need you guys for. Then we have CFL. Bombers at Rough Riders. Babano will touch on that for sure. But we're going to focus on baseball right now. We're going to focus on afternoon baseball. Indians at Tigers. Winners of 14-15 against the Tigers this year. 37-28 on the road. Tigers 17-45 at home. 76 Fahrenheit. Clear. Oh, and Gerald Martinez liking the Mercury. Going to copy and paste that. Thank you, Gerald Martinez. And I know, Al Hart saying, Jimmy, will Max 420 be on a college basketball show? We are in negotiations with all that right now, figuring out, do we need Max? Desperately. Absolutely desperately. And there it is. There's Tomarino. Rolling with the same play that our very own DJ Big Boss put on the show yesterday. There we go. And there's Danny Almendarez. I'm looking forward to hear what he's on. Okay, Jamel White. Indians first 5 under. Norris on strong innings restriction. The last time we saw a pitcher on an innings restriction, it was Keller. And now Keller's not pitching anymore. I fear when you know you're only going to go 3 innings that you might push a little bit harder in those 3 innings. That actually makes me a tiny bit uncomfortable. But we know Clevenger's going to have a good start. He's pitching great this year, 9-2, 3.00 ERA, 1.12 whip. He's also been very good against the Indians in his career, against the Tigers in his career, 6-2, 2.10 ERA, 10 career appearances, 9 starts. 8-0 record with 2 no decisions in his last 10 starts. He's rolling since getting tagged June 28th by the Orioles. 5 2/3 Clevenger went last start against KC and held them to 1 run, 4 hits while recording 8 strikeouts. Here we go. A. Hilly adding for Friday's games. Douglas Robinson, I will share those with you right now. I'm just going to copy and paste more of A. Hilly's college football action. Also, all of the college football action that I've been copying and pasting, I'm going to put on one page so we can go over it on the Late Show. And the Ron Crawford spreadsheet plays Oakland, Cleveland, Minnesota. He's on Oakland, Cleveland, and Minnesota. Okay, so we have this huge favorite in the Cleveland Indians. How do we make money off of them? That's the question. Norris is not going to pitch longer than 3 innings. It hasn't in his last 3 starts and won't anymore for the rest of the season. He doesn't even have good numbers against the Tigers anyways. So let's see what we're going to be dealing with and how we can figure out how to find an angle here with the Indians. They opened up minus 230. They're now minus 240. 10-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 9. It's now at 8.5. Let's see what the Tigers' team total is. The Tigers' team total is, wow. Come on. Seriously? It's 2.5. I mean, that's ridiculous. And that's not even the first 5. And that's just ludicrous. First 5 is 1.5. The Indians are at 5.5. I mean, Noli Nose says wind blowing in like in the under. I don't know if I can trust the bullpen. That's my problem. There's a taint play of the day. Detroit, Cleveland, second half over 3.5. You can get it at your book. Some books have them. The best books have them. Cleveland run line, but minus 150 might be too much juice for you to take. A's, Kansas City, under 10. Those are the taint plays for today. I like it. Matt Randall, that's copy and paste right now. Copy and paste. Oh, Brothers and Bets. Brothers and Bets taking FIU plus 3. I'm going to copy and paste that as well. Here we go. Copy and paste. Brothers and Bets. New name in the chat. Welcome. Nice to have you. Here we go. Copy and paste. Sorry, I know it's going to slow down our speed here. We're going to be joined by Babano in 25 minutes. Look, I can't find it. If my book allowed the second half over, I would take it. I also would like second half Indians. Oh, look, Pink Eye Genie be at the Dodgers game on Saturday. Under in play, Kershaw Ray. I like it. All said and done, I can't trust Norris in 3 innings in the Detroit bullpen. I don't want to take a minus 150. That was the only Big spot. So, for yesterday's action, also, we got to throw up the record because it went up 6.3 units. There's R2D2 Finland. Nice to see him back in action. Yesterday was a mess. Hit with Yankees first 5. Hit with Yankees full game -1.5. And then my first, all the first 5s under, I lost. Atlanta, Toronto, first 5 under. Chicago, New York, first 5 under. Hit with Twins -1.5. Lost Tampa Bay, Houston, first 5 under. And that was getting steamed. That was 4 at my book when I went to bet it, so I didn't bet it. So that saved me there. Oakland, KC, first 5 under 5, lost. And then Red Sox -1.5, cash. LA, San Diego, over, cash. Chris Postal, 6-0 yesterday. Nice job. Matt Randall says second half Indians is -190. God, that's tricky. R2D2 says Detroit lose by 2 at least. I think so too. But I mean, do I want to take another huge juiced spot? I don't know. This neck hole just not big enough for me. I don't know if I want to take another juice spot. Let's see how juiced it is. Let's just get to baseball. There's too much football clogging up this odds page. All right, we're going to go on to the full game run line. And it's coming down, -143. Okay, I'll take that. -143. That's the only angle that I'm going to take it. Indians -1.5, -143. And that game, let's get the lineups up just to make sure. I believe that game starts. Is that going to be, am I going to have trouble betting that time-wise? Sorry, you guys. Let me get this quickly. No, I'm not. 1:10 Eastern. Verhagen coming in after him. I don't hate on Verhagen. All right. And Mally Mal says Jimmy Cubs won series. You're absolutely right, Mally Mal. Absolutely great work. Okay. Let's keep rolling. And Matt Randall says, great call, Jimmy. Yeah, it's his only angle that I know it's heavily juiced. R2D2 says, I'll take Indians -2.5. I get it. Okay, that's the early game. Remo saying lots of low totals in NFL today. We are going to go over all of the moves, but there's only a couple that I might make, and I'm going to need, after doing the audible on Tuesday, it's just a might make situation for me. There's Mook LaFleur in the house. Okay, A's Royals. A's Royals is the next spot. Bassett Sparkman. We've seen Bassett be so good at home at times, but he's been so bad of late. Let's keep the speed up, move a little faster here. We're on money lines and totals at sportsbookreview.com, SBR odds page. Oakland opens up at -175. There's been a 45-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 10. Now it's at 10.5. We had some spectacular cappers in our chat that jumped all over. The Royals yesterday. Very, very impressive stuff. Very impressive stuff back to them. Okay, Bassett. 9-5, 3.59 ERA, 1.18 whip, 125 in the third, 117 Ks, 43 walks, 18 homers. Joe Anisi on Oakland first 5 -0.5 at -140. Texas first 5 -0.5 at -118. Lamont Williams says, you like A's first 5 run line? No, I don't think I do. It's just too juiced. Russell Gordy says 4 early games, 2 dogs, Jimmy. I mean, is Sparkman going to be able to take care of business at home? Because that's something he was doing. Do you trust this A's? They're already without Chris Davis on paternity leave. And Matt Chapman's not going to be in the lineup, I don't think. But he's not in concussion protocol. We'll see. There was some very mixed comments about Chapman, so I don't know exactly. I'm unsure if he's going to be in the lineup. Jamel Wright says Oakland has a few players out. Let's take a look. Here we go. No Chapman. See? Simeon, Grossman, Olsen, Kanya, Brown, Profar, Pinder, Joseph, Fegley. Wow. I'm certainly not taking the A's. Merrifield, Soler, Dozier, Gordon, Cuthbert, O'Hearn, Starling, Deeney, Lopez. I'm certainly not taking the A's in any situation here. Bassett has looked good. 2-0, 2.05 ERA, past 5 starts. Let's see what we have exactly from Sparkman. I want to see exactly what he's been at home lately, because this was a guy that we were trusting at home. We were getting big dog lines, and he was paying out for us. Is that something that possibly could continue? He's been very bad in his last 7 starts. At home this year, 3 ERA, 1.10 whip. Last home start, he held the Mets to 3 earned runs. That's not easy. Before that, he held the Cardinals to 1 run. And then he got destroyed by Cleveland, but it was the second time Cleveland saw him in a short period of time. Cleveland just saw him again. So he's seen Cleveland 3 times in his last 3, 4, 5, 7 starts. 3 out of his last 7 starts have been against the Indians. What underplays Red Girl on? I missed it. Oh, and I wish, shout out to Brooke Jordan. I wish I went with her on the under in the Tigers Indians. I almost did. I came very close. What's the Red Girl under? I have missed it. Can somebody throw out the under that Red Girl's on? I would like to know. All right. There's Twatty Latte in the house. Twatty Latte. If you missed it, we are now awarding the Vegas Gun Excellence in Capping Award. Every day. Today's first winner, Guillermo Zertucci. The Vegas Gun Excellence in Capping Award every day. Okay. Let's keep rolling. Jim Remy says, Royals first half plus 195 are better value with lineups included. I did not say bet. I bet it. Okay, I hear you. I agree. I think that Sparkman at home against this A's team, I think that's where the value is. Taking the Royals early, even though I don't really trust the A's bullpen that much more than the Royals bullpen. I mean, surely I trust them more. I agree with that. Regardless of whether Jin's betting or not on this play, that's got to be where the value is on Royals first 5. Open at plus 180. It's now up to plus 200 at Heritage. So then we could take the old plus a half in case there's a tie with very reasonable possibility. And you're still getting plus 135. Plus 140 at William Hill. All right. I'm in it. I'm on it. Mr. Jocelyn, 4-3 yesterday. Oh, yeah, I was 5-4. Oh, we didn't put up the record. You want to pop up the record while I'm doing this? And Jared Williams says Yankees for life. Yes, Yankees saved me from having a losing day yesterday. The Day Junior Smile says A's play better without their best players overall. These guys coming up for the minors are real. This guy, Red Girl is UConn full game under 71.5. Thank you, D. Jonathan. Okay, I've copied and pasted that. Okay, Noli No says DeGrom Day, first 5 under automatic. Oh, let's not go back to first 5s. But I may. And Russell Gordy saying Fever win tonight. Wow. We doubled up with the Fever after talking and capping with Ron Walsek and the boys in their last game. That was a beautiful double up. Gets me at 26 and 23 in WNBA right now. Okay, I'm going to make this move. I'm going to be on Royals. First 5, plus a half at plus 135. Royals, first 5, plus a half at plus 1. Oh, no, plus 140 at William Hill. Excuse me, plus 140 at William Hill. All right. Brooke Jordan on A's full game under 10. Brooke, I wish I went with you yesterday. Great call on that Indians Tigers under. I wish I went with you. Noli No says, no, Jimmy, you stay off. Okay, yeah, you don't want me touching your first 5 unders. I get it, though. Yeah, I get it. Twatty Lattes on the first. Raymond got the under 10.5 minus 115, the full game under. Let's take a look at what that full game is. Full game totals. I'm certainly not going to double up, and I guess I would like more. You know what? I'm not going to go against this market move. I can understand why you guys are doing it, but I'm not going to. This market move, it was at, actually, yeah. It was at 10, went up to 10.5, went back down to 10. It was at 10 all morning, then pumped back up to 10.5, and the under was at minus 113. It's now minus 109. You know, I don't dislike it. I just think there's value on that plus line. And Brooke Jordan says, I told you not to take Braves first 5 under either. You're right. But I said that Fulte was going to have a good enough start. It was fucking Wagaspack that shit the bed. But you're right. I should be listening to you more, Brooke. Thank you for your leadership and your guidance. Okay, let's keep rolling. Vinny Cornell says, lean Royals to score first at plus 185. Godson John says, leave that game alone. There's easier plays. There's Bobby Digital. Bobby, Digi in the house. All right, I'm on Royals first 5 plus a half. And UConn full game under 71.5. Yeah, I locked it. I'm going to definitely take a look at it in the afternoon. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to keep rolling. Twins, White Sox. Barrios, Cease. This is a very difficult game. You guys know I'm very high on Cease, and Barrios has been terrible. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this spot, and I'd like to see what the market is doing. Here we go. Money lines and totals. SBR odds page, which should be open on your desktop all day long. Here we go. Twins, White Sox. Twinkies opened up at minus 180. They're now minus 179. 1 cent move towards the White Sox. Total opened up at 9.5, but it was heavily juiced to the over. It's now at 10. But at 10.5 was already here at Bookmaker. And that to me thinks, okay, so what we see here is that Barrios is going to get touched. He's likely going to get touched, but these White Sox can't hit righties. If Barrios was going to be in a situation for a bounce-back spot, this would have to be it. Jared Williams says, who will win the NL Central? I'm in a tough spot, man. I'm in a tough spot there. I've got the Cubs at plus 130. And Jansen says, love Jimmy sarcasm. I'm not being sarcastic with Brooke Jordan. I did. So, Brooke, don't take it that way. I need your help. We need your help. And I need to stay off first 5 unders. And I should have taken your full game under. And I should have listened to you when you said get off the Braves under. And I should have just taken the Braves because I was liking the Braves. But we had so many great cappers on the Jays and it messed my head up. Ben Sports 24/7 says Twins first 5. Fading Cease big time. He's going to get touched. Did you see Cease's last start? It was another high character start. He allows a 3-run home run in the first inning from Willie Calhoun, and then 6 strong innings with 9 strikeouts. Christopher Comtini says Twins roll. Jin Rummy says White Sox games completely fair line with lineups included. Brooke Jordan leaning to the Twins. Don't say that, Brooke. Right when I want to make a move on the White Sox. I want to make a move on Cease and the White Sox here. I know the Twins smash. They hit lefties better than righties. Tormina says I lean White Sox team total over. Barrios looks like he's wearing down. He does. Jared Williamson. Sorry, you said AL Central. I was thinking you said NL Central. Sorry. Yes, I should have hedged. A lot of us, Jared, have the Indians at plus 1,100 to win the Central. And there was a chance for me to hedge when they were each minus 115. And now the Twins are at minus 140 with Ramirez out. The Twins are a huge favorite to win that division. Mally Mouse says, don't take White Sox. Twins win series. And Scotty Watts putting Coco in his parlay. You know what? I like Cease. Spencer says, Jimmy loves Cease. I do. I like Cease a lot. I like his character. I've watched him. I've watched the defense behind him have 3 errors in the first inning and him not allow a run. Okay, so scope. So also we have this no Kepler, right? No Kepler or Marwin Gonzalez should be in the lineup. Let's see what we're dealing with. Let me see if I can refresh that, get that Twins lineup. Still no Twins lineup, but there's not going to be a Kepler and there's not going to be a Marwin. This is the time. Thank you, Max. Well, smart. I would have gone 5-0 if I didn't take first 5 unders, Max. Max, I need to connect with you today as well. I know I said Friday, but I'd like to do it today. Friday's going to be too busy with the Audible. Jansen's on Cleveland, Twins, and Dodgers. Donkey Capping says Jimmy loves those White Sox. I do. Bobby just says Twins just want to get out of town. Very profitable underdog spot. All right. Matt Tomino says Cease has some decent, but he's not good. He can get hit hard anytime. I think he is good. Eric Nisbet loaded up on Utah -6 for 1 rack. Nisbet getting after it. Our guy Eric about to go on a well-deserved family vacation. Russell Gordy says Dodgers in bad spot. I agree completely. All right, this is a dog day for me. Maybe this isn't a day where the dogs come out, and I know I started it by taking the Indians -1.5. But I'm going to take the White Sox first 5 here. I'm going to take the White Sox first 5. How am I going to do it? Let's see. And I know that everyone's saying no, as is Brooke, but let's see what I'm getting. White Sox first 5 plus 168 plus 170. First 5 plus a half. Plus 115 plus 120 at Heritage. I'm in. Chicago White Sox first 5 plus a half. Plus 120. Book it. Cease. Take me home. Take me home, Cease. All right, let's move on to Rays Astros. R2D2 on the over. Kowak is saying Utah rolls. Jansen says BYU +6 for me. I've seen more people on BYU than the other, but than Utah. But we're going to have Babano coming in 11 minutes. So let's go. Rays Astros, Kittredge, Greinke. I mean, we just saw Kittredge get completely lit. Now remember, Kittredge is a journeyman who is the closer for Tampa's AAA team, and he's earned his opportunity in this show. But this is a journeyman, an average journeyman pitcher. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Full game, money lines and totals here for the Astros-Rays game. Astros-Rays game. This is our last game that's in the afternoon spot. Shit, that's first 5. My apologies. Here we go. Astros-Rays. Total opens up at 8.5, now at 9. Heritage still holding an 8.5. Greinke and the Astros open up at -245. They're now -233. This is a Kittredge spot. And then who follows Kittredge? It's Trevor Richards. Trevor Richards is a tricky pitcher, but I mean, these Astros could smash that changeup. Let's see if we can find lineups here for the Astros. We can. Here are the lineups. For the Rays, Sogard, Meadows, Pham, Choi, Garcia, Adames, Darno, Aguilar, Duffy. For the Astros, Springer, Altuve, Brantley, Bregman, Alvarez, Gurriel, Toro in third base, Chirinos at catcher, and Reddick turning the lineup over. No Carlos Correa, obviously. Still a dangerous lineup. Still a lineup they can get, but I mean, and Greinke, I mean, there's a huge advantage there. Let's see. And I know I already said it could be a dog day. I just added 2 dogs, but let's see. And I'm going to add the Diamondbacks. -1.5 and -115. Another bullpen day. They're going to get touched. Pie Guy says Trevor Richards is a bum. I don't see Rays in this spot. Who was it? Was it Russell Gordy? Russell Gordy saying Zach gets hit. Look, I don't trust Zach, but it's also a day game. Let's see what Zach does traditionally in day games, or at least this year. Let's quickly look at Zach in day games, get Zach splits. Because he's a guy, finicky. This guy's got mental health issues, how he's going to handle day games. Let's go to splits right now. Day games, 2.82 ERA, 7-2, looks fine. Why does Russell Gordy think he's going to get touched? There's Jonathan Succi in the house. I think this is a spot where we make a move. Pie Guy says Astros by 25. Jonathan saying both are going to get touched in the C Sparrow spot. Nice. Jonathan Succi stayed up till 5 in the morning. There, Joe and Easy leaning over here. Antoine says Astros sweep. I think Kittredge gets touched. I know Kittredge. Well, I should say no. It's stupid. Okay, here we go. First 5. Let's see what we're getting first 5 spread on Houston. Minus 150. That's a lot. I mean, you're getting a better value on the full game, and I don't want to double up. All right, I'm going to take Houston minus 1.5, minus 115. Houston minus 1.5. Another more bullpen action. I think they get touched. Okay, let's keep rolling. So those are the afternoon games. This is my action. I got to play on each game. Taking 2 favorites, 2 dogs. Indians minus 1.5, minus 143. Taking Royals first 5 plus a half at plus 140. I'm going to watch, Russell. You know I'm going to watch. I'm on White Sox first 5 plus a half at plus 120. And I'm on Astros minus 1.5 at minus 115. Neo Money saying, what is the team total overs? Now I use Heritage because I don't like the update on the Pinnacle page, the way the new look. Here it is. These are the team totals. 3.5 for the Rays at plus 100. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. 3.5 for the Rays at plus 100. 4.5 for the Astros at minus 145. Big Roo says Rays pen has been trashed lately. Teddy B, my man Teddy B now says Greinke will go undefeated the rest of the season as Astros started. Wow. 4-0 with a 2.45 ERA so far. All right, those are the afternoon games. Got a play on each game. Okay, let's go. We got about 8 minutes before Babano joins us and we start talking college football. Cubs, Mets, Lester DeGrom. 81 Fahrenheit clear, 10 miles per hour sideways. Bobby Digital says, love it. Also lean under in the Indians game. I'm worried about that Detroit bullpen. Because we know that Norris is only going 3 innings. There's Farshad Asami. Told you about Sun in WNBA, my friend. It was a good bet. It was a great bet. Great job, Farshad, because everybody else was saying Storm or nothing. Still went 3-2. Farshad, we need you. We need your insights for WNBA because I'm just basically, I'll cap it a little bit, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. And because ever since I just started focusing only on you guys, I started running. Bobby Davis says Greinke can't handle this pressure. There's no pressure here. I think we'll see how Greinke handles it when things start rolling. Okay. Cubs, Mets. Lester DeGrom. This is a tricky spot. We know the Mets can smash lefties. DeGrom's been pitching very, very well, but he doesn't have tremendous numbers against the Cubs. Here we go. Lester DeGrom. DeGrom minus 180, now minus 185. His total's at 7.5. Very low total for 2 teams that can rake. Let's see what we're dealing with pitcher versus batter here. Pitcher versus batter. Let's go. Here we go. Pitcher versus batter. And I don't care, by the way, that the Twins are 7 for 20 against Cease. He's a different pitcher than he was in that last start. Here we go. Rays against Greinke. They're hitting 191 with a 559 OPS. Here, okay. So against Lester, in 112 at-bats, they're hitting 277 with an 824 OPS. They're getting to him. Against DeGrom, 299 average, 777 OPS. Look, to me, that screams over. Tomino says Rizzo likely out again. Marty Muerte says Greinke takes care of business. Bookie Lover Q coming off a big day. Oh, I agree with you, Bobby Digital. He would much rather be in Arizona. He doesn't care about winning. Look at Bookie Lover Q. Woke up smelling money. All right. Nate Tuck says Cubs are 4-2 versus Mets. 4-5 games gone under. Nutflush Allen in the house. Sorry I'm late. Got Cubs stupid safety meeting. Much love at Nutflush. Thank you for joining us. Christopher Comentini saying Cubs have won last 2 on the road. And Brooke Jordan says Cubs on the road. Hell no. I think that both these... I think the over should be in play here. Both these pitchers have been touched by the opponents. How is the over not in play? Tom Marino says DeGrom the last 3 years dominated the Cubs. His numbers before then are going back too far back to matter. Okay. Adi says, Jimmy, why don't you take the first 5 over instead? Let's see what that first 5 over is. Because I really want to get to that bullpens. I mean, we should take the bullpens. Mally Mouse saying Lester for sure, bum at night. I don't want to take it at 4. I want the bullpens to take care of things. Bobby Digital says it smells like an over. It smells like an over. Let's see what market movement we've had at Pinnacle on this total. This total opened up at Pinnacle under 7.5 was minus 114. Now under 7.5 is minus 119. The over 7.5 at Pinnacle is plus 108. That's how big of a plus line you're getting. How do you not take that? Nolan No says, DeGrom going to get touched today? I don't think so. Okay, Rod Zawacki says this game deserves no action. Okay, I'm just going to leave that as a lean to the over. Lean to the full game over. Teddy says Cubs are pass. I'm not going to trust Lester here. And my guy Luis Fernando Esquinza says lean Mets. Nate Dogg says over is the play. We got to keep moving. I don't want to sit in a hum and haw. This is another tricky spot. Reds, Marlins, Robert Duggar. Robert Duggar is just like the reason why we faded Justice Sheffield. We faded a few pitchers like this. And Justice Sheffield didn't pitch too badly yesterday against the Yankees, but he didn't do enough. So here, and Marty Muertes says, I think it goes over with the bullpen. I agree. Reds, Marlins. So Robert Duggar, Double-A Jacksonville, is good. 24 years old, so he's right around the average age or a tiny bit older. He goes 6-6, 3.31 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 73 Ks, 72 thirds. Then he goes up to AAA New Orleans, and he's terrible. 2-4, 7.59 ERA, 1.71 WHIP. Then we have Alex Wood, who's been much better on the road than he has at home. Brooke Jordan says DeGrom can get touched too. Raymond says over with DeGrom is tough. They never hit for him, and they could always pitch a gem. D. Jonathan saying Lester too volatile. All right. Eugenie Suarez has homered in 4 straight games. I think that Duggar gets touched. Let's take another look at the weather here. The weather is... Oh, it's in Marlins Park and it's raining, so there's going to be no weather. Sorry. Okay. Nutflashon says Marlins only score when they want to impress the low backers. I think that team total overs are in play, but look at this being hammered towards the under. If it's being hammered towards the under, that makes me think that the market thinks that Wood's going to have a good game, not otherwise. The Marlins, or the Reds, here, open up at minus 155. They're now minus 161. I think, Nolan No says wind to 50. Oh, the 50 miles an hour, that's different. Luis Fernando Esquinza said Red start Cardinal series tomorrow. I think they will go all in this game. R2D2 like in the Reds minus 1.5 and the under. I don't like that market move and the over. I like Cincy minus 1.5. I think Cincy takes care of business here and sweeps. I think Duggar gets touched. Cincy minus 1.5, you're getting a plus line, a plus 101 at Pinnacle. But even this is moving heavily in the, it's moving in the Marlins direction. Oh, no, it's not. Not a Pinnacle. Let's see what they are. First 5 run line for Cincy. Here we go. Cincy, first 5 run line, minus 119. Okay, I'm doubling up on Cincy today. And Wood to pitch better. Rigu says, you think Red sweep? I don't know. I think Duggar gets touched here. That's what I think. And I think that Alex Wood is an impossible get-right spot. And also, Big Rigu, I'm rocking your shirt. Boss in the sauce. All right. I'm doing it. I'm doubling up on the Reds. I think Duggar gets touched, and I think bounce back spot for Alex Wood. That's what I'm doing. Topsa said, Don Mattingly looks like a broken man in last night's postgame. Jamal Stone said, Lester gets molested. Mets are due to bust out. All right, here we go. Reds, first 5, minus 0.5, minus 119. Reds, full game, minus 1.5 at plus 101. Book it. Trey Trigger says, my last name is Lyles. Maybe we are family. Hey, he stepped up. He stepped up last night. And Brooke Jordan liking the full game over. Okay. Let's keep rolling. We're going to be joined. We have Babano ready to go right now. So we have Mariners, Rangers, Pirates, Rockies, and Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Padres, Giants. There's already been a move to the under, and I'd like to hear what our Nut Flush Allen has to say about that. But I want to make moves on the Diamondbacks. I want to make moves on the Diamondbacks against Ryu. And I'm expecting Kelly to have an okay start at home. You know what? I would love to have, I know that we need Babano desperately for an NCAA football, but I'd like to have him for a second here on baseball. I'm just going to grab Kelly at home, quickly see his splits, and see what he's done against the Dodgers. Versus the Dodgers, he's been good enough. And now home, he's been good enough. And we're getting these big plus lines. Let's go to full game here. Full game money lines and totals. And I'm going to bring Babano in right now. Full game money lines and totals. Being a slight move, a 5-cent move to the Diamondbacks. I want both. Brooke Jordan says Wood plus 6 ERA. He's been bad, but he's been getting destroyed at Great American Ballpark. Okay, I want Babano in just to tell me if he thinks I'm sort of leaning in the right direction, because I also like Trevor Williams to start pitching better. And Trevor Williams being a big move towards the Pirates in that game. Okay, I'd like to make 3 moves here. And maybe I should make them when he's breaking down baseball or breaking down football. But let's bring him in right now. Thank you so much for hosting our show here yesterday. I had the absolute pleasure of partying with Babano in Miami. I don't know, is there any guy more fun hanging out with than Babano? What a great guy. What a knowledgeable capper. And joining us right now, representing Steeltown, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to the show, Babano, on this Thursday morning. How you doing?
Thanks, Jimmy. Miami was a trip of a lifetime. I mentioned that, of course, earlier yesterday when I was filling in for you. I couldn't have enjoyed myself any more than I did. And I wish I could turn back the clock and be there again, because ever since I've gotten back, it's been, you got to take care of personal shit. You've got to catch up on capping. You've got to write all these articles that I do every week for these sports betting publications. I mean, it's just been one thing to do after another. It's been a busy few days, and it's been a busy morning getting ready for this first Thursday of the college football season. So work never sleeps, Jimmy, at this time of year. Nobody knows that better than us.
Work never sleeps. This is when it gets very intense, and this is when I'm going to have to lean on guys like you in college football. Now, I just want quickly, what do you believe in Felix Hernandez's first start off the IL? Because I don't, and I want to hammer the Rangers here. I just want to ask you some quick questions before you go into NCAA football. That's the first one. What do you think of that?
I don't trust Felix yet. He's going to have to show me more than that. I know it was a solid outing for him, first start back from the injured list. Let's not forget he was struggling mightily before that time. When a pitcher has that one good start back, which kind of surprises me, because usually, Jimmy, I think pitchers struggle more often than not that first start back from injury. So maybe this is going to be a case where the guy actually is going to do this in reverse, where he's actually going to be good the first start back and then go downhill from there. That's the concern here with Felix. Texas, kind of frustrated. I didn't back him last night because Sandoval, I didn't like him. I just didn't trust the Texas lineup, but still they did enough to get the job done. Lynn has been pretty solid. He's kind of taken a few minor steps back. I don't want to say he's been bad lately, but yeah, for me, it's a Texas or pass spot. I'm going to have to see it again. I don't know if I want to lay the price, though. Minus 160. Seattle is still swinging the bat pretty decently. Although they did get shut down yesterday against the Yankees. Maybe Texas team total over, because I don't really want to worry about what Seattle does offensively.
I think that's a perfectly put. I am going to take Lynn, though. I am going to fade King Felix. And then I think that Trevor Williams showed something and will show something for the rest of the year. He's 3-2, 7.50 ERA in August, but man, after allowing 17 runs in 12 innings, shuts the Reds out last start at home. I think I trust him more than Chi-Chi. I'm going to back him here. And then I also want to back the Diamondbacks and keep jumping all over Ryu, especially against the Diamondbacks team that smashes lefties. I know that's dangerous talk, but what do you think of it?
You know what? There's some truth to that. And we're seeing signs of Hyunjin Ryu wearing down. This is way past his career innings career high in innings. For a single season. He's reached that already, Hyunjin Ryu, and we're not even, out of August. There's still a full month of regular season baseball, and there's still playoffs after that. So the Dodgers are getting very, very, I think they're going to really put him on a short leash, and they can see the impact of it. He has not been as sharp. He's not been as crisp. He's left balls up in the zone. There's just not that same bite with a lot of his pitches in the last couple starts. Got smacked around by the Yankees. Admittedly, that's the Yankees. That's a potent, powerful beast of a lineup. I get that. But it's still a concerning sign for me, Jimmy, that Ryu is sort of downward trajectory in his last couple of starts. And even before that, he wasn't overly sharp or as dominant as he was early in the season. So, you're getting a really nice price, as you always are, when you're going against the Dodgers, and a guy of Ryu whose season-long numbers have put him in a price range like this, minus 190, but his current form has not been what his season-long numbers indicate. The problem for me is Merrill Kelly is a conundrum. He is a guy that's, I think, had more bad starts than good starts. He wasn't necessarily sharp in his last outing. We'll see how he does here against against this potent Dodgers lineup, which obviously got the job done in extra innings against San Diego last night. I don't trust Kelly a lot, I'll be honest. Maybe I look over the total full game. Maybe I go Arizona, a team total over. It's going to be pretty cheap, and it might be a good value bet. Arizona team total over, considering Ryu's current form isn't currently equaling his season-long numbers.
Wow, look at that Arizona team total over. Wow, 3.5 and minus 110.
That's exactly what I thought it would be. A very cheap number.
Wow. Okay, I'm making big moves on today's card. Some people say they don't like the card. I like this card a lot. Mally Mouse says Williams is bad. Russell Gordy says, what did he say? He said, hell no, Trevor Williams on the road. Nope. Watch me make money off Trevor Williams in the Pirates today. First 5 full game, watch me. I'm going to start laying in numbers right now while Babano breaks down college football. Babano, set us up here. Are we going to talk Thursday college football, tonight's action first?
Oh, yeah, of course. No doubt about it. We've got a slew of games, 5 games? Yeah, let's go at it Thursday.
Beautiful. All right. Take us home. I'm going to be taking notes while I'm line shopping. Feel free to come back to me anytime you want or keep rolling however you want to handle things. What's your first game on the card?
Well, we'll go game by game. Let's break them all down because it's the first Thursday. I mean, some games I'm stronger on than others. We'll start with UCLA, Cincinnati. We've seen a lot of UCLA money. They opened 4 months ago when sports books were putting out college football game of the year lines, and they're opening week 1 lines. They've been out for a while now. And that's gone down to 2.5, 3, total 57.5. There's a lot of belief in the betting markets that UCLA will be improved. And I really wouldn't argue with that. I think they will be improved. I think they did play better down the stretch last season. They're now in year 2 of the Chip Kelly system. I think that's certainly going to be a benefit for this team. Schemes and systems on both sides of the football firmly in place. Another year of more experience and hopefully another year better for Dorian Thompson-Robinson as the starting quarterback here of this UCLA Bruins team. Inconsistent last year in his freshman season, but I think he's going to be certainly a guy with a lot of talent. We'll see if Dorian Thompson-Robinson can play like a hurricane and play with that kind of impact tonight against the Cincinnati Bearcats defense in this game. Going to be a good test for him. It's on the road. It was a really good Cincinnati defense last year. They look pretty solid on that side of the ball again this year, especially that secondary. I think the pass defense is probably the strength of the Bearcats. Cincinnati, on the other hand, a tremendous year. I do worry about the fact that it was such a great season for them last year that they have to regress just a little bit. I do like Desmond Ridder at the quarterback spot. Really good defense, good ground game. Michael Warren II. I do think this Cincinnati team is pretty good, well balanced. They can move the ball through the air, on the ground, play solid defense. There's a big revenge spot for UCLA, though. They lost at home to Cincinnati as massive favorites last year against the Bearcats, lost that game to Cincinnati. And now I think UCLA is in a situation where I was looking to play them. I thought I would be getting more than 3.5, 4 initially. I wasn't. Then it went down to 3 and 2.5. So I don't love it from a value perspective, but I do lean to the UCLA side here, and the betting markets currently agree with me.
So also, I want to touch on the total here, but at this point, would you make a move on the money line? That's what my guy Trotwam is saying. And do you think this Chip Kelly thing is giving us a bad number? The fact that Chip Kelly's coaching there in his second year, is that the reason why our number is bad? This total started at 60.5. It's down to 57.5. Black Rogue came in saying he likes the under. A few other cappers have said they like the under. What do you think of this total here? And are we simply getting a bad number because of Chip Kelly?
It could be. There's a really strong sentiment that UCLA, everybody I've talked to, UCLA is a bet on team this season. When you have as many people as I've talked to and as many people as I've seen, on Twitter, other various places like UCLA as much as they do, you're going to see, the odds makers take notice of that. And they did. I mean, they didn't give you a great bargain with UCLA, and now the betting markets have moved this down to 2.5, 3 pretty much across the board. And Cincinnati's not going to be an easy out. I just think that there's a lot that went Cincinnati's way last year. They won a lot of coin flip games. They won a lot of close games. A lot of times that kind of thing is not going to be you're not going to be able to duplicate that the following season. I think you're going to see a little bit of regression, at least from the Cincinnati team, but they're still an absolute contender in the AAC. It's a pretty good conference overall. I think this conference has gotten better over the years, and Cincinnati, under Luke Fickell's who has done a really good job here. They're not going away, but I just think in this spot it sets up well for UCLA. And let's not forget, this is the first game of the season. They didn't play last week, so this travel spot for UCLA going to Cincinnati, Ohio for this game, it's not as bad a spot as it would be, say, week 2 or week 3 or week 4 when you had to play the week before. That's not the case, so it mitigates the travel situation a bit for the Bruins.
Teddy B says, Jimmy, unless UCLA, and I'm uncomfortable picking a side at this point, but he says, Jimmy, unless UCLA can play defense, he's going to be running the ball down their throats. Cincy, don't fall for it. And says Cincy cover. If you had a free play on the total, what would you do?
Lots of under, and it's because Cincinnati's going to be in no rush. This is a clash of styles, clash of pace, really. Cincinnati doesn't go fast on offense. They're a run-heavy, run-first offense. That's what exactly their modus operandi is going to be in this game. Run the football, chew up the clock, and keep their defense fresh, rested, because UCLA on the flip side, it's Chip Kelly, what he's going to do. He's going to go fast on offense, up-tempo, run-oriented spread offense. And let's not forget that, too. And I think people recognize that. There's so many different styles of up-tempo offense that you just can't blindly bet up-tempo teams over the total every week. You have to understand what type of up-tempo offense they're running. Some people are air raid, where it's really pass-heavy and it's really deep pass-heavy. Some teams, they're a balance of pass and run, up-tempo offense. And then there's teams like UCLA where I think predominantly they're going to be a run-first up-tempo spread offense. That's what Chip Kelly did at Oregon. It's what he tried to do in his failure stint in the NFL with the Eagles, and that's exactly what he's going to do here. So I don't look from a pace rating standpoint. I don't put the pace rating as high when it's a run-first up-tempo offense compared to if it's a pass-first air raid type up-tempo offense. So, and Cincinnati's defense is really good. I don't think UCLA is going to go on the road and light them up. And I do think UCLA's own defense is going to be much, much, much improved this season. So I think betting markets see that. I did think 62 was a bit high with this total. But now that it's at 57.5 at the current number, and you asked me, Jimmy, current number, which way would I go? We're talking about 4.5 point movement in a total just in the first game of the season. That's pretty steep. You better have a damn good reason to be betting under still at 57.5. I don't. I think the value's swinging the other way toward over now.
Interesting. Great breakdown. And I do feel a little late to the party with the under, even with Black Rogue on the under and a few other cappers on the under. Okay, beautiful breakdown. What's the next one? And let's, I know that was the marquee spot, I think. I mean, we have Utah, BYU, and Georgia Tech, Clemson, but I have no problem spending more time on that one. But let's speed it up a little bit. What's next on your card?
Yeah, I mean, we'll go to Georgia Tech, Clemson. It's the next one on the betting rotation. Look, I wish I could rewind the clock. We could have done this show on July 20th, and I could have said bet Clemson minus 34, but I can't do that now. Unfortunately, it's 37. We've seen nothing but steady Clemson money over the last month, and admittedly, the value is really dwindling on that side, but I did like them at 34. I think if you got to play it now, I would look minus 23.5 in the first half for Clemson in this game, which is still a widely available number. Look, this is as disastrous a situation for a college football team entering a new season in game 1 that the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets currently have to deal with. We're talking about a complete and utter overhaul in terms of style and type and scheme offensively for this football team. Years and years of the triple option under Paul Johnson, recruits that were brought in specifically to run the triple option with this Georgia Tech program. Now, all of a sudden, in comes Jeff Collins, new head coach, former Florida defensive coordinator, former Temple head coach most recently, and he's going pro spread offense. It's going to be a little bit of a hybrid of that, and you're going to be throwing the ball a lot more, way more. Apparently wants to be 50-50 with this pass and run, and now all of a sudden you've got specifically offensive linemen recruited to cut block, recruited to do the blocking techniques required for a triple option attack, that are going to have to learn to pass protect. They're going to have to learn to give the quarterback, 4 or 5 seconds to throw the football. They're going to have to run block for a normal run offense outside of the triple option. That is as steep a learning curve as you could ask for. and it's a complete and 360-degree turn in terms of offensive philosophy. Oh, and you've only got to face the national champions in your first game on the road. Have fun with that. If you're Georgia Tech, it's absolutely brutal. They have a very young quarterback group. 3 freshmen were battling for the starting job. James Warren looks like he's going to be the guy that ends up getting that start here tonight for Georgia Tech. The offense, I don't know what to expect from them. I know Clemson's defense loses a ton of their defensive line. They've got a lot of new faces on defense, but they reload, not rebuild. And even though their defense has new faces, I think they might feel those absences on defense more next week against A&M than they will here. I just don't know what Georgia Tech's going to do offensively. And even defense for this Georgia Tech team, they're changing a little bit on that side of the ball too. They're going from a 3-4 defense to a 4-2-5 scheme. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for them as well here. So, and of course on offense, we know Clemson's loaded for bear. They're absolutely going to be able to run the football or move the football at will. Trevor Lawrence, outstanding. Travis Etienne, the running back. Justin Ross, back again with T. Higgins at the receiving core. Just loaded in the skill position talent. The offensive line, there's a very experienced 4 senior starters. The defense is the question mark for Clemson. Those defensive warts, Jimmy, I don't think they might show up here as much as they will next week. Georgia Tech is completely starting from scratch on offense. I don't want this dog. I bet Clemson minus 34 a month ago. The current number now, I think, has gotten away just a little bit, but I do think there's still value in that first half number, and there's always that potential with Texas A&M, that big game on deck next week, that if they're up big in the fourth quarter, Dabo Swinney might just remove the starters late in the game, making the first half maybe an even more appealing option.
I think so. I think that the first half is a more appealing option. I think that Dabo's certainly going to bring in, start moving parts around and taking all the first teamers off the field when they're up 40. So is there still value now? I believe was it Guru? There was one capper yesterday saying that they don't think Clemson covers the first half, the 23 and a half, thinks that Georgia Tech is just going to run the ball and run the ball and try to run the clock as much as possible, if that's even possible. But you're only on Clemson full game. You have not made a move on the first half. And do you think at 23 and a half, there's still value?
Yeah, I like 23 and a half. I actually bet that as well. So Clemson minus 23 and a half first half. Clemson, again, last month I had 34. I don't want people betting full game now. 37's tricky, and who knows what the score is going to be in the fourth quarter and what Dabo does with A&M on deck if they're really, really up big in this game. The question is Georgia Tech going to be a team that gets you through the back door? And there are definitely defensive warts for Clemson here in the very beginning of the season. They lost a lot, but they're not filling those holes with scrubs. They're filling those holes with 4-star, 5-star recruits across the board to fill the void of those defensive linemen that have graduated and a few of their other players in the linebacking core and secondary. So these are players that can play. It's just a question of can they all assimilate quickly in the very first game of the season and play well. So I did have a lean over the total as well because I think Clemson's good to hang 40 or 50. Could you get 10 or 14 out of Georgia Tech? That's the big question. But again, with that over for the full game, 60 and a half the total, what's Clemson? Where are the starters going to be in the fourth quarter? That's the $1 million question that could really influence side and total for the full game tonight.
Great breakdown. Man, we need to give a big second here to stop everything and send some love to the Nisbet family right now. Eric has been a low bagger since day one, and he comes in and he gives winners, especially boxing. This man knows boxing so well. His mom's going through cancer right now, so let's just take a little bit of time just to send the Nisbet family strength. And Eric Nisbet, I'm sure your mom, she created you, and if she's anything like you, I'm sure she is. She's going to have a lot of fight. And that's what you need, and that's what we've seen from Vegas Gun, from Shadow. And so sending love and strength to your family, Eric Nisbet. We are part of your family, and just sending so much love to your very strong mom, who we know is going to fight. So much love to you, Eric Nisbet. All right, let's move on, and to Eric Nisbet's mom. Let's move on to your next spot on this card. Are you looking at the FIU Tulane game? What's next?
I do like the FIU Tulane game, especially from the total perspective in this game. I like both of these teams a lot. I'd probably at the current number lean slightly to Tulane. I really like Tulane. I've made some good money with this team the last year or two under Willie Fritz. He's done a really good job with this program, no question about that. They've been more competitive. They've won more games. Remember, he took over from Curtis Johnson years ago, and he left this program in the ditch when Willie Fritz took it over. It was a miserable program, Tulane football. They have really, really started to come on as a football program, and I think they're a dark horse in the AAC this year. I really believe that. If things break right for them, their defense is as strong as I think it'll be, and if their offense continues to progress like it did last year under Justin McMillan, the starting quarterback, the LSU transfer, who's back again this year, this could be a very dangerous team. Here, from a totals perspective, is the thing I like to look at, especially in the first game of the season. When I look at totals in week one, I focus on teams that go through dramatic transformations in terms of tempo and pace and scheme. And we've got that here with Tulane. Tulane has run one of the slowest paced offenses in college football the last few years, the triple option. They're deviating from that a bit. They're going to leave elements of the triple option in their offense. It's still going to be a run-heavy offense for the most part, but we're talking about a team that now brings in Will Hall as their new offensive coordinator, a guy that comes from Memphis, where, again, what are they known for? Up-tempo, spread offense. Well, they are now going to go from being one of the slowest paced offenses in college football, Tulane, to much faster. And the quotes from Will Hall, the offensive coordinator, say we want to go as fast as possible for a large part of the game. There'll be elements maybe when we're leading late in the fourth quarter that will look to slow it down. But in general, we're trying to play fast. And you're going to see a Tulane offense just in terms of pace look nothing like they have the last couple of seasons. I love their running back tandem. They're very strong, led by Darius Bradwell McMillan, a dual threat quarterback. And the one concern for FIU's defense last year, and I don't know if it's gotten all that much better this year, they had a trouble getting sacks, getting to the quarterback, and they had trouble stopping the run. That's a bad combination here against this Tulane offense. On the flip side, I really like Tulane's defense, so why do I think Florida International is going to score points here tonight against them a little bit? Because I like their senior quarterback, James Morgan. He's another guy that can move the ball with his mobility, and he's got a very good arm. And the key is going to be, can he get rid of the ball before the strength of that Tulane defense gets there? That's their defensive front. They have a loaded defensive front, Tulane. One of the best defensive fronts probably in the AAC. But James Morgan's good at getting rid of the football quickly, getting it out of his hands, and this FIU offensive line is very strong, lots of returning experience, and they were tremendous in terms of one of the better teams in the country last year, fewest sacks allowed. That matters when you're playing a team with a good defensive front like Tulane. And if Morgan has that time and that opportunity to get rid of the ball, find receivers downfield, I think he will, because the weak link in Tulane's defense is the secondary. If there has to be a weak link, it's probably the pass defense. Tulane's going to go faster. Think about the fact that Tulane's average game total last year was 56.9 points. The average line of Tulane totals last year was 56.9. We're seeing not even 2 points higher with an offense now that's going to go much faster at a much faster tempo and pace this year. I think there's great value over the total tonight. Weather's going to be great in New Orleans. I like these two offenses to put up points. We're going to go over the total 58 with FIU and Tulane.
Over the total with FIU and Tulane. You know, I've heard nothing but people backing FIU so far this week. So interesting to hear you on the other side with Tulane. Interesting in taking the over. And Black Rogue says this one goes over. Neo money on FIU +3. I do find that over very, very interesting. Great breakdown. Let's keep rolling.
All right, next up, another over coming up. The Battle of Texas here. Texas State and Texas A&M. Same kind of situation that Tulane's got that Texas State has. And it's the kind of situation I love in week one. And we can take advantage of it from a totals perspective with, I think, a total that's cheap here. Texas State. Brutal offense last year under Everett Withers, who was obviously fired late in the season. It's obviously a bad job he did with this Texas State program. They weren't very good at all, and their offense was putrid. I mean, we're talking about a Texas State team that averaged 18 points per game last year, 18.9. Terrible. That's not going to get the job done in college football. So in comes Jake Spavital, the new head coach for Texas State, who's worked under Dana Holgorsen as his offensive coordinator the last few years at West Virginia. And, of course, we know what West Virginia's offense has been about the last couple of years, up-tempo offense. with Holgerson there. And he also brings in Bob Stitt as his new offensive coordinator here with this Bobcats team. Stitt is a guy who coached at Montana, head coached at Montana years ago. And last year he was on Mike Gundy's staff at Oklahoma State as an offensive analyst. Not OC, but an offensive analyst. Just one of those, guys that was on the coaching staff, just giving some advice, lending an ear. And being able to, put his input in last year with that Oklahoma State team. So what's Stitt known for? He's known for air raid offense. He's known for extreme tempo. He's going to bring that here to Texas State. He's known for the fly sweep. He's a guy that's actually one of the innovators of that play, especially in the college football level. They're going to be doing a lot of that tonight, Texas State. So they go from a slow-paced, weak offense to what I think is going to be an improved offense and obviously an extreme tempo offense. They're going to play nothing like the slow-paced offense they did last year. They have a returning starting quarterback in Tyler Vitt, who was the starting quarterback last year for this Texas State team, second season as a starter. And I think it shows that he might be ready to handle it, being the quarterback again this year, because the guy he beat out for the starting job is a guy named Gresh Jensen. Why is that significant? Gresh Jensen was the quarterback for Bob Stitt when he coached Montana a few years ago. So obviously Stitt knows Jensen, high on Jensen, knows that he can play, and yet Vitt still played well enough in fall camp to beat Jensen for that starting quarterback job. That tells me I think Vitt, they're high on him. They think he can play. They think he'll play well. Question is, can he play well here against Texas A&M's defense? That's the question. And I will say this about A&M's defense. They'll be very good as the season goes on, but you got to replace 6 starters in your front 7. I know they've recruited excellent talent on defense, but the linebacking core is inexperienced. The pass defense struggled quite a bit last year. It could take a game or 2 or 3 for A&M's defense to really be good. However, on the flip side, and Texas State's got a lot of experience on defense, but that experience is going to work well in the Sun Belt. When you're stepping down in class, I don't think that's going to work well against A&M's offense. I mean, Kellen Mond is back. He really played better last year as it went on. And A&M's offense was hanging 40 points regularly down the stretch last season. They have one of the best offensive lines in college football, A&M. Tons of experience. One of the best offensive lines in the SEC, if not the country. Plenty of speed and talent in the skill position group. Courtney Davis, a receiver. Jashawn Corbin at running back. From all I've read, he's ready. He's ready to be a star and take over adequately from Travion Williams. They lost him. I think A&M will wear out Texas State at the line of scrimmage, their O-line against the Texas State defensive line. There's some question, does Jimbo Fisher call off the dogs here late? Because, again, we're talking about A&M with that Clemson showdown next week. But you're talking about 57 with this total. State's going to go fast. And even if they don't score and go 3 and out a lot, that's going to give A&M a ton of opportunity to pile up a lot of points. I like this game over the total as well.
I love both these last 2 breakdowns. I mean, I love all of the 4 breakdowns so far, but I'm going to tail these last 2 overs. But let's keep rolling. But before you do, Bookie Lover Q says Ian has to be the best sports researcher. The guy's a well-oiled machine. And then he says, damn. Ian, let's keep rolling. What's next?
What's next are 2 games I'm lukewarm on. I love the overs. If you had my 2 favorite plays tonight, those were it. FIU Tulane over and Texas State, Texas A&M over. Kent State and Arizona State's interesting. Clash of styles here. Kent State goes fast. Kent State's got the offense that goes at warp speed. The head coach there comes from the Dino Babers school of we're going to go as fast as possible. That ain't Arizona State, though. Arizona State, Herm Edwards, pro-style offense, moderate, even deliberate pace that they run on offense. They've definitely got to replace, obviously, Manny Wilkins, the quarterback, going with a new starting quarterback there for this Arizona State team. MAC school on the road against Arizona State. I'm not sure I'm ready to trust them, but I guess if I had to, I would probably take Kent State here, plus 24.5. The one thing about Kent State is they should be able to score. I mean, their offense did get better as the season progressed last year. If you're going to bet an underdog in this price range, I prefer the underdogs that can punch in a late touchdown for me, score some points for me, rather than the underdog that relies on defense and can't put in points, can't find the end zone late in the game. Kent State might be one of those teams. There's a lot of changes a little with this Arizona State team. I think they'll still be pretty solid. I don't think they'll be quite as good as they were last year under Herm Edwards, who really took everybody by surprise. I'll be honest. I said this guy was a bad hire. They ended up having a solid season. But at this price range now, 24.5 or higher, I'd lean Kent State, but I don't love it by any stretch.
Oh, I love that. You know what? I think there's some very good information coming from all sides here. One is Pink Eye Genie says, just talked to an ASU alumni vet. Doesn't follow sports betting, but deep in ASU football. Told him ASU is minus 24 faves, and he laughed. Laughed out loud, said he would take Kent State.
Wow.
Very interesting. And Shadow has a great point about Texas A&M. Says Texas A&M will be looking ahead to Clemson next week. I like Texas State plus 33. I think both those dogs and the two overs are where I'm going. But let's touch on Utah Brigham Young and put a bow on this bad boy. Utah Brigham Young, what's your breakdown here?
Oh, a great football game here to wrap up the night. Holy War, Utah BYU. Really interesting. But there's been a tug of war with the number. Utah opened -7 as a road favorite. It got bet all the way down earlier in the summer to 4.5. A lot of BYU money. And now the money's come pouring back in over the last few days on Utah. It's back up to 6.5 in most places. And I think the reaction to that is the health of Zach Moss, the running back for Utah, who's been excellent for them. He's really the catalyst, the motor that gets this Utah offense running the last couple of seasons. He's ready to go. He'll be starting at running back tonight, which is huge. There were some injury concerns with him. That makes a world of difference for the Utes offensively. Of course, Tyler Huntley, the dual threat quarterback, returns as their starting quarterback going into this season. You always like Utah on the offensive front. They're usually solid. The defensive line, well, once again, who's kidding who? It's Kyle Whittingham. It's Utah. You know they always churn out a great defensive line. They have one once again this season. So it's going to be a tall order, and I like this Utah team quite a bit. However, I also kind of think BYU's flying a little bit under the radar and could be improved this season. Alex Wilson back, won the starting quarterback job. I think the defense has improved. Sense of urgency, certainly for the head coach, Kalani Sitake. I think he's in a spot now where the hot seat is being cranked up a little bit on him. I think he definitely has to be a guy that has to win, has to have a improved season for him to keep his job here as the BYU head coach. And again, I don't love revenge spots being the sole fundamental point in terms of handicapping, especially in week one. But the way BYU lost to Utah last year was gut-wrenching. It was soul-crushing. I mean, they had Utah dead to rights, led that game wire to wire. Utah with a late touchdown and then a pick six to turn a Utah loss into a Utah win, and eventually a Utah point spread cover, laying more than a touchdown. It was a sick bad beat if you had BYU last year. BYU's talked about trying to earn some redemption. It's one of those games, Jimmy, where at 3.5, 4, I like the Utah side. Now that it's 6.5, 7, I'm a little bit gun shy on Utah. And in fact, there might be some value right now at the current number at BYU. So because we're dealing with 6.5 right now, I'd lean BYU. I'd probably like Utah down at 3.5, 4, but it's one of those games where I'd lay 4, take 7. It probably should be a very entertaining and I think competitive football game.
That was an absolutely spectacular breakdown of 6 college football games, and man, God, little class.
I don't have anything left to give, Jimmy. We emptied the tank with that last 20-minute breakdown there.
That was absolutely spectacular, Ina, and I don't mean to squeeze a little bit more out of you, but we do have a Bombers game here in the Canadian Football League here. Bombers +5 at Rough Riders with Streveler behind center. You have a feel or an angle on this? We're going to talk about it extensively on the Late Show, but you have a feel on this? Just a quick little angle at this point?
I want to point out this game is Sunday. I don't know if anyone was aware of that, but it's a Sunday game. It's Labor Day weekend. There's only 3 CFL games this weekend. There's Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Sunday, and then there's the 2 Labor Day Classic games, annual rivalry games, Toronto, Hamilton, Edmonton, Calgary. I can only back Winnipeg, Jimmy. I've said this time and time again, and I know they keep battling more and more adversity, more and more injuries, more and more, in this case, suspensions. Obviously, Andrew Harris, running back, suspended for 2 games. But all they do as an underdog is cover numbers and compete and find ways to win. Look against Edmonton last week. Edmonton took a boatload of money, and all that money got kept by the books. Edmonton went from 3-7 last week as favorites against Winnipeg. Winnipeg wins that game outright. They just find a way. It's a next man up mentality. They're not 8-2 by accident. Very well coached, great defense, great special teams. I know they're down to Chris Streveler, their backup quarterback. They're not going to have Andrew Harris this week either. Just a couple guys banged up on defense, but they've shown me enough as an underdog to say I don't want to go against them catching points, period. End of story. However, this is a tough spot. Saskatchewan is surging right now. Saskatchewan's playing their best football of the season, 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread their last 5 games. However, a lot of those wins were against weaker competition. Let's see if they can step up here against Winnipeg. It's a fascinating game. I liked Winnipeg a lot last week once that number got up to 7. I'm only lukewarm on it this week because it's a tougher place to play. It's a Saskatchewan team that's rolling. But you're not going to see me betting against Winnipeg getting 5.5, 6 points. You're just not going to see me do it. So if I have to bet this game right now, it's Winnipeg or nothing.
Babano, spectacular work. I absolutely love it. I'm making 4 moves off of the breakdown from our Babano. I'm taking the FIU Tulane over. FIU Tulane over. I am getting, these are my first 4 spots. I did not bet the Miami-Florida game. I'm taking the over 58. I'm getting minus 105 at 5 dimes. Over 58 at minus 105 at 5 dimes. Then I'm making 2 moves on this Texas State-Texas A&M game. First is the over. I'm getting over 57 at minus 103. That's available at Pinnacle. Over 57 at minus 103. Those 2 are straight tails of our Babano. Then I am taking Texas State to cover. Texas State to cover. I'm getting plus 33.5 at Bovada at minus 110. Plus 33.5 at Bovada at minus 110. Then I'm taking Kent State to cover. So the Texas State move is backing the analysis from Babano and combining that with the breakdown or the comment from Shadow. And then the Kent State move is taking the analysis from Babano and then Pink Eye Genie's breakdown with the alumni from ASU. Kent State, I'm getting plus 25 at minus 110 at Bovada. Plus 25 at minus 110 at Bovada. Those are my 4 plays in college football. And Babano, if you could just hang with us for a second, because I would like you to give us a leche to put a bow on this show. So here we go. And then in baseball, my additions right now is I'm going to take Rangers first 5 minus a half. So I'm going to quickly go to baseball. Sorry, I'm going to do this as fast as possible, then we're going to put a bow on this show. Texas Rangers, first 5 minus a half. Here, let's see what I'm getting. Texas Rangers, first 5 minus a half. I'm getting minus 119. That's available at Bookmaker. Texas Rangers, first 5 minus a half and minus 119. And then I'm taking Texas Rangers full game. Now let's see how I have to do this quickly with the money line on full game. Can I take them on the minus 1 line? Let me see quickly right now, as I have no time for this page to load. Okay, here we go. Texas Rangers on minus 160. So I'm going to have to take the Texas Rangers on the minus 1.5 line. I don't want to do that. I don't trust their offense enough. Okay, I'm not going to take Rangers full game. I'm not going to do it. I just don't trust their offense enough, and I think that the Mariners could get to this Rangers bullpen. I'm only taking Rangers first 5 minus a half and minus 119. I'm taking the full game lean off. Then moving down for the extra plays, I'm doubling up on the Pirates. I'm taking them first 5 money line right now. Let's go. Sorry, I'm going as fast as I can, Rafa. Sorry, we're late. So many sports hitting us right now, Rafa. Okay, Texas Rangers first 5. Pittsburgh Pirates first 5. I'm getting a minus 103 at 5 dimes. That's Pirates first 5 minus 103, and then I'm taking them full game as well. Full game here, just line shopping. Oh, sorry, that was full game. Full game was minus 103. Sorry, let's see what first 5 is. Pittsburgh first 5, it's same thing, minus 103, both at Bookmaker. So full game first 5, both minus 103. I'm doubling up on Pirates. I'm believing in Trevor Williams here. I think he turns the season around. I think we're getting a nice number going up against Chichi Gonzalez, who we know is going to shit the bed. Then first thing I'm going to do, as we talked about on this show, is I'm going to take this, and this was also another spot where Babano led us to glory. I'm taking the Diamondbacks team total over 3.5 at minus 110. Diamondbacks team total over at 3.5 and minus 110. Then I'm going to take the Diamondbacks first 5. I'm going to go to game money. Let's go first 5 Diamondbacks here quickly. Sorry this is taking so long. A lot of moves I got to make very quickly. First 5 on the Diamondbacks. I'm going to take plus a half, and I'm going to get plus 120. So I'm going to take Diamondbacks first 5 as well. First five plus a half at plus 120. And that's all I'm going to do with the Diamondbacks right now. I'm not going to take them full game. I'm just going to take Diamondbacks first 5 plus a half at plus 120, and the team total over 3.5 at minus 110. Then I got to decide what I'm going to do with Paddock and Rodriguez. I want to hear what Nutflush has to say about the Padres Giants. So, in totality, these are my plays. And after I give my plays, Babano will then give his plays, tell us where we can find him on Twitter, and then he will leche us out of here. I'm on the Indians minus 1.5 at minus 140. I'm on the Royals first 5 plus a half at plus 140. White Sox first 5 plus a half at plus 120. Then I'm on the Astros minus 1.5 at minus 115. I'm off of Cubs Mets right now, but I definitely lean full game over, but I need more time. I'm on Reds first 5 minus half minus 119. Full game minus 1.5 at plus 101. I'm on the Rangers first 5 minus a half at minus 119. I'm doubling up on the Pirates first 5 in full game minus 103 and minus 103. Then I'm on the Diamondbacks team total over 3.5 minus 110 and the first 5 plus a half at plus 120. That is a lot of work here. We've had some stuff, Matt Randall talking about grabbing the Army. He's also talking about grabbing Colorado State. We're going to go through some of those games that aren't the heavyweight tilts and go over some more comments. Also, Matt Randall, I've got to get Matt Randall's play today, and here are the other plays of the day and the Ron Crawford spreadsheet. Oakland, Cleveland, Minnesota. Oakland, Cleveland, Minnesota. Gas station sushis, max betting, Diamondbacks plus 180 on the money line. Full game. I may make that as well. And then Matt Randall's play of the day is Detroit, Cleveland, second half over 3.5 if you can get it. He also likes Cleveland run line, but it's heavily juiced. A's, Kansas City under 10. And we're going to take a break now. Man, what a show. And Babano, you were the star of this show. Absolutely spectacular work. Bro, breaking down college football. You already know the 4 plays I had in college football. We'll go over them again on the Late Show. Babano, could you go over your plays once more? And then can you give us where we can find you on Twitter and let's us out of here?
All right, first of all, Twitter at Babano, as always. I'm on there daily, Saturday morning. Make sure you don't miss it. 11 a.m. Eastern time. It is our new format, Saturday football, college football closing line. Me, Drew Martin, Boss in the Sauce, DJ Big Boss, and Big Ragu as well, along for the ride. All 4 of us every Saturday breaking down college football right here on SBR. Don't you miss it. Quickly on baseball, I'll just throw out 2. I like that Arizona team total over 3.5 with you. And I like San Francisco as a dog against San Diego. I don't like Paddock's form. He got roughed up. San Francisco's still better than San Diego right now. Home underdog. I'll take San Francisco there. Rodriguez in that start. College football. I like Clemson first half minus 23.5. In that one. I love Florida International Tulane over 58. I love Texas State, Texas A&M over 57. Those would be my 2 favorite plays tonight. Lean Kent State, lean BYU, but definitely like those 2 overs more than anything else. Great show, Jimmy. Always fun being with you. Thanks to everyone in the chat betting with the bag. Let's get some money on this Thursday. Let's kick some bookie ass. And as always, leche and los bookmakers!